think one of the biggest things is when you're in positions and you are intentionally being left out. Like, you should be invited to certain things. You should be like, first sign was, okay, we think about when I was bullied in school and all those things. Okay, that's that. But now here we are now. You're still being left out on things that you know you should be a part of. There's rooms you know you should be in. There's tables you know you should sit at. But you're not. And you're like, what's going on? I don't understand this. Like, why am I still not in these positions? And that's because, baby, you chose it. You're trying to fit in with people, and that's the problem. You trying to sit at tables with people, that's the problem. God is like, listen, he does not allow us to sit in certain situations because he's got a whole nother table for us. We trying to sit at the people table. God's preparing a God table, and that's where we want to sit. What the problem of the world is, and what the problem with today's church is that too many church people that are in power, people that have platforms, they want so badly to sit at the social media table. They want so badly to sit at the celebrity table. They want to be aligned with human power, world power. They are so worried about getting, like, connecting and being liked by who's powerful in the world that they forget their mission is to align with an all-powerful God. Who cares if you're sitting at Beyonce's table? No shade to Beyonce. I'm not, this is not what this is about. But you trying so hard to align with other people, you're not even thinking about what God wants you to do. That's part of the problem with the church. We're so worried about being liked and being popular that we're missing out, or we're diluting the truth. No. Part of being chosen by God is being willing to stand on your own 2 feet if nobody like you. We so worried about not being canceled. We so worried about people, what they gonna say, okay, cancel me. If God called me to say it, cancel me. It's cool. I'm okay with that. If I'm being faithful to my God, I'm okay with you canceling me. I'm okay with it. But too many of us, I don't want to say anything. So what? Cancel me then, baby. Try. One thing I know about my God is that he don't play about me. So I'm not going to talk bad about you. You can try to cancel me if you want to. Ain't going to work. Because you didn't give me this platform. God did. And too many of us are trying to align with people. People can't save you. People can't save you. What people gonna do? Nutty. When the chips are down when you are going through a tough time, what's the first thing somebody gonna say to you? Oh, I'm gonna pray for you. That's what you're gonna say. And here's the thing, that's actually the best thing they can say. But it's acknowledging something, family. This is my point. It's already acknowledging that their power is limited, and they want you to pray to, and they're willing to pray for you to an all-powerful being. What does that mean? That means that when we're looking towards people to get us in positions, or we're trying to align with our favorite celebrity because they, no, family, you out of order and you out of pocket. There's too many people with a platform that's so afraid and they're tap dancing to what people, want to hear. No, that's not what we're here to do. We're not here to do that. I'm not here to placate to people and watch them walk off cliffs to death. No. So yeah, when you're chosen, the reason why you went through number 1 is to be able to do number 2. The reason why you had to go through seasons of people not caring and you being canceled and people saying this and people saying that and you having to go through The reason why, and people don't understand that, they spend their time trying to debate with people on the internet versus understanding that God is preparing you for something greater if you just allow it. But that's why I say all of us are called, but few are chosen. Few are chosen. Few are chosen. We over here trying to be popular and tap dancing for people. That's not Bible. That's not biblically sound. We're teaching people how to pave their way to hell with good intentions. No, family. That's not Bible. That's irresponsible. That's I'm trying to get viral. I'm trying to warm your little heartstrings so that you feel good about yourself, so you can feel good on the way to hell. Why would I do that? That's not real love. That's not what God calls us to do. I'm not saying that we do the whole, go on the side of the road and with a bullhorn and say, "You're going to hell." No, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is we go through seasons of understanding people being forgotten by, hidden from, bullied. We go through these seasons not to become a better people pleaser. And that's what happens, family, is that instead of it giving you a level of, I don't care what people think. No, people will say they don't care what people think, but become a better people pleaser. What does that mean? I say I don't care what people think, but I'm sitting here arguing with people. I say your actions will tell me way more than your words do. When you out here being defensive to people, you care what people think. When you sitting here talking about what somebody said about you on the internet, you care what people think. I don't care what you think, but I want to address this. No, you care. Your behavior is telling on you. Too many of us want to act like we don't care, but your behavior is speaking for you. You do care. The reason why we go through number one, the reason why we deal with being forgotten about, hidden, all these things, Jesus had to go through that. Jesus went through seasons of being hidden. In fact, we don't even know what happened between 12 and 33. All we know is when he started his ministry and when his parents let them, or he was learning at the temple and he was about his father's business and they had to come back and they had to get their son at 12. We don't know what happened between those two times. He was hidden. We don't know. He had to go through hidden seasons to be prepared for the ministry that we would now be talking about generations later. He had to go through that and grow through that. And a lot of us want to skip that. We forget. If Jesus had to do it, why do we feel like we got to skip process? If Jesus, a God that became man, had to go through process, why do we think we're exempt from process? Was his process easy? No. But guess what he had to do? He had to endure a really challenging death. A death for the very people that put him on a cross. Why did Joseph go through what he went through? So that when he had the position of power and authority, and he would be in front of the very brothers that would take him into slavery, that will throw him in a daggone pit and leave him for dead. When they came before him, he went through process so that he could forgive them, and not only forgive them, but take care of them. The very people that sold him into slavery, he spent the rest of his life and their life taking care of them, despite them. The reason why we go through number one is to be able to do number two. That when we're not invited to sit at the table, that when we aren't given the respect that we feel like we deserve, we understand that our acceptance is not about whether our mommy and our daddy like what we're doing. It's not about whether our family understands us. It's about saying, if God called me to it, I'm going to do it. And I'm not going to allow the world or what the entities the enemy sends to stop me from what I know God is calling me to do. Too many of us say we don't care what people think, but we still tap dancing to what we think our mama wants to hear. No, family. We go through number one to be able to do number two, and do number two well. Is understanding that, yes, we're not invited to those tables because we're not supposed to sit there. We're not supposed to sit at those tables. We're not. We want to be seen. We want the podcast to be heard. We want people to put some respect on our name. Do you know what we're... No, baby, you different. That's why. You different. You can't sit at those tables. You're supposed to be something different. You're supposed to do it the way you do it. You don't start doing it the way that they do it. So many people, they want to assimilate. No, you're supposed to stand out. Yes, I see people, they have this way that we do podcasts, right? We do podcast recording certain ways where they sit on a pretty couch and it's white and there's white little furniture all around and there's a camera that's a little further out. And again, it's super fly. I love it. I see a lot of people doing it, but I understand that God specifically, when I was like thinking about doing my podcast and how I wanted it to be done, you know, they got the makeup, they got the glam, they got the hair, they got it all going on, man. They got it all going on. I want to say, Amara, I hope I'm saying that right. I know how to say her name, but I love what I love what you do. Thank you for showing up, sir. Respect. Thank you. I wanted to do my podcast differently because I felt like this is how other people do podcasts, right? And so I was like thinking about that. Pam knows that. I was thinking about how to do the podcast and and you know what? God just said, no, I want you to put the camera on and I want you to talk into it. I don't want you to be done up. I don't want you to look like you, not you. I want you to be you in front of a camera. And so you will go on my More Than Just Pretty podcast page and you will see that I've committed to that I was going to look natural. I was going to speak exactly what God had put on my spirit. And I was not going to deviate from that. What does that mean? That means that just because I did it differently or I had to do it differently does not mean that it's less than. It means that God has called me to do something different. And we today are too afraid to be standing on our own 2 feet. No, God called you to do it that way. You do it that way. Stop trying to do it like everybody else just because that person does it that way or this person does it that way. And I'm trying so hard to fit in. No, you were born to stand out. Even if you did it that way, even if you did it the way that everybody else did it, I guarantee you God still wouldn't bless it. Why? Because it's not you. It's what you think you got to be somebody else. You're not built like that. You're not supposed to be built like that. Hey guys, thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you guys. Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, y'all. Let's not just be every once in a while. Let's become Framily, okay? Friends that are family, okay? Join my Framily today.